soldier and work on like the display. But I'm gonna, you're like, say this is the base of the tree, I'm gonna have all our boots lined up for each one of them, for each fallen. And then I'll have the gold stars on there, it'll be white. And then like I was telling her, you know, like the three sides of it, I'm gonna put some heart stuff in them.
All right, we ready? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Lacey's Parks, Culture and Recreation Board meeting. It is 5:30 p.m., November 6, 2024. Thank you all for being here this evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order. 5:30 p.m. Roll call. Let's start with online first. Commissioner Dykstra. Surprise.
Commissioner Wheeler, present, sorry,
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Wheeler, starting Thanksgiving early.
kind of. I was cooking for everyone. I had to make sure it's good.
Welcome. Thanks for being here. And
Commissioner Dykstra.
Thank you. And then we have,
Cody Lee, Recreation Supervisor.
thank you, Cody.
Lori Davies, Board Commissioner.
Camera Good, Commissioner Vice Chair.
Sue Baylash, Recreation Manager.
Aryan Kumar, Youth Member.
Wendy Goodwin, Chair.
Bill Fosbury, member.
Jenny Wilson, Parks Planner.
And
Carter Gibson, Executive Assistant.
thanks, Carter. All right, is there anyone else online? I didn't miss anybody. All right, and next we will do our land acknowledgement and we'll have our youth member. Arian read it for us this evening.
The Parks, Culture, and Recreation Board meets on the ancestral land of the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek, including the Muscogee Indian tribe and the Squaxin Island tribe. We acknowledge and remember those tribal people not recognized today who were absorbed or relocated into other tribes for survival. We recognize the ancestors and their descendants who are still here. We recognize and respect the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek as the traditional stewards of this land since time immemorial, and their role today in taking care of these lands in perpetuity. We recognize and have the responsibility to call attention to the histories of dispossession, forced removal, and abridged treaty rights that allowed our nation, state, and city to develop as they have today. We recommend that community members read the Medicine Creek Treaty of 1884. 54.
And then we'll move on to the approval of our agenda in minutes. Do I have an approval for our agenda this evening?
I move
Motion.
approval of the agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner Davies. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Good. Is there any discussion about the agenda? Anything we need to fix? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the agenda as written, please say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion to approve our agenda goes forward. It carries. All right, approval of the October 2nd, 2024 minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve those minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second to approve the October 2nd meeting minutes?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Fosbury. Is there any discussion about those meeting minutes for October 2nd? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries to approve our October 2nd, 2024 meeting minutes. Moving on to public comment. I don't have anybody on our registration. I didn't see anybody sign in. Is there anyone online? All right. And then written comments were given and we had those in our packet, so they were all addressed by the staff. Thank you for doing that. Business items that we're gonna see tonight. All right, going to business items. Outdoor program and teen late night program update by Cody Lee, our recreation supervisor.
All right. Thanks for having me tonight. Just wanted to come and chat about our moving through rapidly. Our teen late night program, we started up, we had our first event in October. We had our first ones from since before COVID. We started back in last February, I believe. Our numbers had been down. But this first event, we had a costume contest. We had over 600 kids there. It was an awesome event. We had 483 kids that had registered by, I think, 5 o'clock online, which is amazing. We're trying to get all 600 registered by 5 o'clock. It helps with getting kids in the door quickly. As you can see, the kids had tons of fun doing inflatables and karaoke and costume contests. Let's see what else here. Had a lot of amazing volunteers help out at the event. I think we had 15 volunteers, 15 staff members, 2 Lacey police officers and their Explorer Scouts there. So it was an awesome, fun event. And our next one is coming up. Here's a picture of staff hanging out and playing basketball with the kids. They do an awesome job engaging the youth. Next one is coming up on the 15th over at Machin Middle School. So excited to have those up and going and have the numbers back up again.
Where was the first one held at?
That was at Salish.
Say,
Yes. If you guys have any questions, I can take questions about the late night stuff right now, or we can wait till the end. So yeah, looking forward to doing more of those. We should have 7 more of those coming this year and this school year. And as far as our outdoor trips and tours, they are going off great again. I think we've had 30 trips this year, going to the Tulip Festival, Lavender Farms up in Squim. Those are just a few. Then we did, staff member came up with the idea of doing the troll treks. So they've toured around 6 and gone and seen all 6 of the trolls from up in Seattle down to Portland. Those have all been full and having a blast doing that. It's really cool. I think a lot of the people were the same people, so it was like a fun core group of people that kept on doing it. And had a great time exploring the trolls, but then going to local places to eat or go shopping also afterwards.
Are those the teens too?
No, those are adults.
Adults.
Adults, yeah. So those are doing great. Our teen outdoor stuff has been difficult to get back up and going and getting teens engaged and finding things that they want to go do. We have our teen leadership group that Lauren Young has started up again, and so she's leaning on them to try and come up with some ideas and try and get kids engaged and get that back up and going. This summer, our teen stuff was awesome, but during the individual trips during the school year, have been a little more difficult. Let me see where else we have been. Oh, we got a few coming up here in Leavenworth has been a big hit. They go over for the Winter Fest over there. I think we have 19 currently registered and 6 on the wait list. But like I said, we've had the most participants in our adult outdoor trips and tours since pre-COVID. I think we've had 240 people register for them, so they are going great. And that's kind of a snapshot of our outdoor programs. Do you guys have any questions on any of those things?
no, but I was wondering, can you go over the walk and roll for next year? Cause it's on our plan.
The walk and roll?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the upstart, right? For
Yes, yes. We will be,
Real quick, just to touch base on that, they have done it once before, so I just want to make sure that you're aware that it's kind of getting it back involved and getting back going on it.
Yep. So we will be partnering with Walk and Roll, Intercity Transit to offer bike safety program with them. That program will start up in June or July. We'll be doing a series of classes with them over the summer. It's a very low cost, $5, I think, program that covers our administration fees. But kids will be meeting at the schools and going through bike safety. I believe they get a bike at the end of the program with them, so we're excited to get that up and going. Like Sue said, we have done it in the past, and working with them is great partnership.
Are we gonna get adult programs with that as well? For us older people who might need to refresh our brain?
We can definitely look into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's a way, if there's an opportunity for that, yeah, I need help. I mean, not like I just need the refreshers.
I mean, I bring my bike, we can go for a refresher bike ride.
Okay. I'd like to practice on the actual bus, like I gotta get on and. get-
Yeah, putting it on the bus, yeah.
Just so I don't look clumsy when I do it. I wanna look professional.
Don't wanna hold up the whole bus while you.
Everybody waiting on you.
Yeah, or you didn't put something on correctly.
You didn't
and-
strap it over and then the bus
Yeah,
runs over.
I did practice it, but it's different when you're on the street and there's cars passing you and people in the window looking down on you. It's just, I would just like to have an opportunity to go with someone so I felt safe to do that. But if they had a program for adults as well, I'd
Yeah.
be interested in it.
Definitely look into that.
That'd be great.
Another really interesting program with Interstate Transit, talking about them, if you have used bikes that you don't want anymore, they take used bikes and they have a group working with teens. And they disassemble them and they rebuild the bikes with new parts, and they basically learn how to take care and how to rebuild. And once they rebuild that bike is now theirs. And so I've donated 3 different bikes to them, but it's a really good opportunity for some of these kids that can learn a kind of a skill and learn how to take care of things and come out of there with a really nice bike.
And it's organized, like all the
Yeah.
tools are put up.
They've got all the
nicely,
stuff there for it.
resources,
It's a
yeah.
pretty neat program that I didn't realize they had until this year.
It's really nice. I went down to their bike shop and yeah, it's just super organized. It's a great
Nice.
resource, so yeah. Yeah. But I'm excited for that to come back as well.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that we have some teen stuff going on, so thank you for all you're doing. I know that.
Well, thank you for all your support.
People supposed to thank you very much. Are there any questions or anything else for Cody? Alright. Well, Cody, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Until next time.
Until next time, we'll wait. And now we're moving on to our special events and park rental policy updates with Sue Faylash, our recreations manager.
Yeah, you've got the new, basically, the Parks and Recreation special events and park policies and procedures in your packet. What we had done is we had a special events policy and we had park rentals and we had shelters, and we were trying to basically combine it all into one easy policy instead of 3 different ones. So basically it just kind of does the philosophy of the city, talks about the definition if it's a commercial rental, the definition of special events, and some of this stuff, like the definition of special events was, WCIA came through and did a overview of all of our rentals and all of our special events and all of our policies that we've had. And that was what we've done, is integrated a lot of their suggestions into this, like basically typing out what exactly is a special event. And that's also put onto our website. Talks about the application process for trying to streamline it. So we have just one packet for special events, not, we had a regular special events and then we had a special events with alcohol. You guys approved the last special events, the alcohol special events application a couple months ago. So this just kind of ties in and puts it all together. Talks about some basic guidelines, some facility rentals, facility guidelines. And we would just are asking for you to approve this policy and procedures.
So they're all in one. We got 3.
So it's just kind of putting everything together. So there's the one application and it just kind of talks about some general guidelines for rentals, facility rentals. And we intentionally, there's the fees, we did not attach a fee. We do it in 3 acres. We do it in 6-hour blocks and 12-hour blocks. We intentionally did not put in a fee because those change. And as we do those, we do come to you, but we wanted a policy that could be in place and not have to be re-looked at every year.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
So would appreciate it if you guys would approve that for us.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve, do I have a motion to approve the special events and park rental policy updates?
I make a motion.
Okay. And then thank you, Commissioner. Good. Do I have a second for the approval?
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Davies. Is there any discussion? Motion to pursue? Hearing none. All those in favor to approve the special events and park rental policy, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, the motion is approved for the special events and park rentals policy update. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This is very streamlined. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I like it. All right, moving on to item C, our presiding officer nominations and elections. With Jenny Wilson, our senior parks planner.
I'll get it started. So, moving into election of officers for 2025. So just a reminder on what those roles are. The chair is the person that runs the meeting. That involves meeting with staff once before each meeting. We go over the agenda. The vice chair fills in if the chair isn't in attendance. Obviously, we see how Wendy runs the meetings. Also, this election would start at our first meeting in 2025, which will be the February meeting. January 1st is obviously a holiday, so we won't have a January meeting. So we have two options on how we can do this. We can have nominations and elections both tonight, right after the other. Or we can do nominations tonight and then elections at the December meeting. Typically, we do both on the same night, but however you guys decide. Yes.
I'm burnt out on campaigning. I don't want to have a.
You just want to do it and get it done. Nominate and then
between.
nominate
Right,
and then
right.
approve
Yep.
every.
I nominate Wendy for chair.
I accept the nomination. Are there any other nominations?
It's like, no.
Do a
Any other nominations? All right. The nominations are now closed for chair, and at this time, we'll move to elections unless there's anyone opposed to that idea. Is that okay? Moving into elections? Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to elect our chair position. Wendy Goodwin, do I have a second? Can we do it that way? Or
Second.
A second?
You need a
A motion first, okay.
I move.
Okay, we'll move, thank you, Commissioner Fosbury. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Try not to keep talking.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor for Commissioner Good to continue as chair, say aye.
Aye.
I.
All those
Yeah, throw it on.
opposed. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, you have a chair for the year of 2025. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. All right, at this time, we'll move on to, or would you, Commissioner?
Can I move that Camber Good be vice chair for 2025 or nominate?
Yep, I accept the nomination.
Anyone else nominated for vice chair? All right, here we go. So we're gonna move into election. All right, the nominations for our vice chair are now closed. At this time, let's move to elections. I'll entertain a motion to elect our vice chair position.
I move that Camber Good be vice chair.
And when I say a motion to,
Second.
do I have a second? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Second.
Second, all right, we have a second. All those or any discussion further for our vice chair position? Pardon? Oh, I thought you said something. If, all those in favor for Commissioner Good continuing as our vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
I.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Hearing none, you now have a continuation of your vice chair, Commissioner Good, for 2025. Thank you, everyone.
I was about to get a new one.
All right, our park board's work plan with Jenny Wilson for senior parks planner. And congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay. So, enclosed is a draft of the 2025 work plan. So it's similar to last year's work plan. There's a few items that have been updated to reflect the budget approvals. So one is the dock replacement project that's been added. So that has been approved in our budget. The potential demolition of the Long Lake House was added. A Arbors Park lease agreement was added to it. That's something that we have to bring to you this year. Along with some mobile vendor research was added to it, which if you recall, that came up during a previous conversation. I think there was some interest, some discussion among the group about potentially looking into that. So I put it on here, but we can certainly discuss it if you guys are interested in pursuing it for 2025. It's certainly not something we have to keep on there, so. It's included in your packet. So this was an action item that we get approved today. It's 2 pages or not.
It's one page. I thought we were on this, the other one.
No, we're on the.
That's, yeah, that's
Yep.
one right there.
It's 1 page.
Just didn't see the dock improvement one. Is that on the special projects? Is that was? Oh, the
It's under number 11.
Number 11.
Wanted feedback on whether we wanted to keep it
Well,
on
this
there?
is the work plan. She's getting feedback on it in general.
No, but you
Right.
said there was one on there that you didn't know whether you wanted to keep on the list.
Yeah, it was number 24, mobile vendors in parks, consider and research.
Okay.
So that came up when we were talking about disc golf group came and they had put in an enhancement request and then they wanted, I think they'd submitted some comments that they wanted to sell disc golfs in our parks. Because I don't know if you recall that. I think it was at our May meeting. And so it kind of just brought up a broader conversation about, well, maybe we should discuss having mobile vendors or vendors in our parks in general. We have some concessions at like the Rack
Mhm.
and at Rainier Vista. And so I put it on there. It was just a mental note about maybe we just need to add it to our work plan to discuss and research and consider. So
And so are you recommending that we do
I
keep
just,
that on there or
it's up to you guys. I just put it on there because it was something that you guys said maybe we should. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to consider that, I'll happily take it off. But if you want to consider it, it's
I still like the consideration and, you know, kind of public and private entities working together and help improve the park in a general sense. And maybe even open to getting more money in our pocket.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for keeping that on there for us. And then for the dog and off leash education, does that need to stay on there still? Or how long do we want to hold that for?
yeah, I have, as you guys know, collected some data this August and September. I just haven't compiled it. So it's coming.
So that'll be September, that. we could-
Hopefully next meeting I'll have a report back to you.
Oh, okay.
Parks Improvement Work Group's taking a lot of time.
I don't- Yeah, I was just wondering, cause I mean, if you've got, you know, where we're at with it, when do we get to complete them? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'd like to move some of the in progresses and move that, you know, move them off our list if we
Yeah.
can. So we can.
I don't know if off leash dogs will ever get off our list. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't want you to be there forever. The sandwich
Well,
boards.
yeah, and I mean, definitely we've put out a ton of education about it. We have boards out, we have, but I left it on there because we haven't kind of finalized like how the education has helped.
Helped or not?
Yeah.
And so
And
I'm
then how
I'm hoping next meeting I'll be able to,
And then how often you need to go back and review it. I mean, kind of set a policy for
Yep.
review. And then the walk and roll program, okay, are we gonna be able to move that one?
I left it on there because they're doing it in June. So, I mean, we can take it off now because they definitely have a plan in place for it, but they haven't actually.
On, then we can say it's complete and it'll look good because it'll be done.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
bonus-
whenever it will
bonus
look
is on.
good, that's
I
when I
always like
want
to
to.
look good to say, hey, we completed this.
Yes, I wanna, yeah, whenever it's good to complete them,
Right,
that would be
right.
great, yeah, when we're moving.
And I believe at our next meeting, I'll be bringing a list of our accomplishments. So some of them did come off, like the Rack parking lot. So I mean, there definitely are some that did come off that I'll bring an accomplishment list at our next meeting. So
That would be great. Okay. So do we have a motion for the approval of the 2025 work plan? Parks Board work plan?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Come on, I did the second.
We have a second, all right. Get some notes. Are there any more discussions for our senior parks planner? Any questions for this? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the 2025 Park Board's work plan, say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. Hearing none, you have a motion to approve the 2025 Parks Board work plan. Thank you, Jenny. I know we're a handful. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate
All for the community.
it. All right, moving on to 2025 proposed Lacey Parks Culture and Recreation budget given by Sue Faylash, our recreations manager.
All of you should have a copy of the proposed budget in your packets. The total for the Parks, Culture and Recreation budget is about $3,565,278. There's not a whole lot, I'll backtrack. It covers all the general services, youth and teens, rec administration, aquatics, sports, cultural, outdoor, special events. Museum operation is also part of our budget as well as a volunteer program. There hasn't been any significant changes in it. The only things that we really did this year was basically Ralph and Peter to pay Paul. There was a couple places within our budget, athletics, for example, had excess in some professional services, but our Santa cans were way out of whack. So we moved money from one account to another account, but the bottom line was basically nothing really changed with the core budget for the 2025. Also within there, we have a copy of the request, the council approved budget request that we put in. And I can go, well, real quick, is there any questions on the basic budget? I mean, there's not, it's all in there. There's really nothing that changed. As for just for your information, some of the budget requests will be the ones that were approved. These also include some of the park board ones, like the Q park, the planning and development for phase 1. We did get the approved for $6,479,000. The Woodland Creek Community Park, we was approved for the construction costs for the replacement of the bridge at Woodland Creek Community Park. We're also going to be Woodland Creek Community Park going to be able to replace the existing dock due to failing infrastructure. We got $256,000 for that. We got approved for the Long Lake Park for the demolition costs of the house. We were approved for RAC phase 3 for the planning and design. One of the things that I'm really extremely happy about that the council and the city manager chose to move on is our day camp financial assistance. Cody, every year we're spending about $6,500 to $7,000 on scholarships that are individuals that are given to us by the North Thurston Public Schools, by the counselors. They're people in need, so they're not ones that go through our regular financial assistance program, but they go through the school districts and they submit individuals that they know that are in need, and they get 2 free weeks of day camp. In the past, we used to have it kind of went away, so we've been using some of our other money, other financial assistance money to put that through. Anyway, they did approve, so that $7,000 that they will be giving us next year, and hopefully in the years to come, to cover those scholarships for them. We also were able to get $10,000 due to the increase in cost for Jeanette's special events, because there's professional services is increasing. We are going to be able to do for Lacey Museum, there's $15,000 for printing and continuing the selling of publication, Thurston County Waterwoods and Prairies. A few things from the RAC, we were able to replace the portable pitching mounds, the soccer goals, and professionally service the porous concrete cleaning, which is in the baseball, softball area. It's if those pores, they get clogged, then it doesn't drain. So it's really important to keep up on that. So that was nice that was added into there. Lacey Depot Park will have a seal coat to the rubber play surface. Community Center, we're going to be able to, those floors have been there since basically it opened. And this will be kind of our last hurrah. We're going to be able to sand them all the way down and then reseal them. So that's going to make those look so much nicer. And it's probably gonna be the last time that we're gonna be able to do that.
How long will that take, Sue?
We usually close down for 2 weeks. It usually takes them, pretty much, we close 2 weeks between the Jacob Smith House and Community Center. Takes them about a week.
A week that it'll be closed.
Yeah, it's closed the first 2 weeks in January every year for painting, floors, any maintenance that needs to happen. It's an ongoing maintenance. And the other nice thing is we're gonna be able to replace the shaker roof at the Jacob Smith House. And that's gonna be $150,000 to replace that, so. Some of the things that we unfortunately were able to get were for the parks, the rapid response team. They're permanently funded only through 2025. So that was not extended. An increase for the water utilities and fire for the RAF was not included. And equipment and maintenance personnel for QEO Park for 2025 is not included, largely because the park is not gonna be done yet. General line item increases in supplies and stuff for fuel and insurance and water utilities were not included as well. But something to do note on the rapid response team, just a reminder, it is still funded through 2025, and they will request funding for positions permanently again for 2026. And for the QEO Park requests, there is a plan to do a mid-year assessment to determine if there is revenue to support hiring a junior level position for that when we get to the point that we're moving forward on that. So what we would like from me tonight would be for you to approve moving forward with our budget.
So I have a question,
Yeah,
because I'm not sure I totally understand the process. So this has all been approved for inclusion
for
in
the
the,
city manager to go to
in the
city
budget.
council.
which is gonna be done in December, right?
Right, and the city council, my understanding, likes to know that you support what we're moving
Right,
forward.
right. But it's still subject to like
Council,
if council and or public comment when
yes.
all those public hearings.
Yes, nothing is set. These are just
Yeah,
things that are
yeah, yeah.
approved at this point
Yeah.
and are awaiting pending final council
Right.
approval.
Okay.
Well, and one thing I just realized is in your packet we were supposed to include this 17-page summary of our entire department budget.
Oh, and you didn't?
No,
No,
it's
it's
not in there.
So I
why
think that's
was
why
wondering,
there's
I'm
some
like,
confusion.
I know, cause I'm like, you should have it.
So, This is a summary of like the capital projects that got approved, but this is our general operating budget. So I don't know that since you didn't get a chance to look at this, or I don't know that we can ask you to vote on a budget that you haven't really looked at or that didn't get included in your packet. Because
Can we move that to our next meeting, just so we can all look at that? I think that's a great idea. Not that I don't want to. I just-
Right, yep.
But will that be in line with the timing for the budget for the city in December? So you'll go basically to the thing, says.
Well, wait,
well,
they say the same thing, cause this will be the first week in December and they won't go, I think it's the second or third week
Yeah, something
in.
like the 12th of December.
Yeah, so there's time to go through it
Okay,
again and
okay.
I
you
will,
guys to review and answer any questions.
I will email it after this meeting too, so you can.
Thank
look at
you.
it, but-
And then on the day camp financial assistant, is that all, is it gonna be used on our, have we put it up so that it's available for everyone to use now?
No, it's specific for the summer day camp programs that are done, that are being referred to by the school district for us.
So there'll be kind of a side item,
It's a secondary. We still have our original, our
16.
6,000. Carter, what's the exact amount? Is 6,000 something for, that gets rolled over?
600 something, yeah.
Rolled over, so we will still have that, and we still have some that can be, that we have that's restricted, that we can use for different scholarships as needed.
Does the district kick in any money or do they just give you the names of the kids?
Not for this particular program, they do not, but in the last few years, they've been helping support the summer lunch program and the playground pals. They've been giving us right around $40,000. So they are definitely contributing in many ways. We don't have a secured amount from them for next year, but they are looking to see what they can do to help because they were able to secure some grant funding for us. So they've definitely been a supporter of this. And we got into this originally just trying to reach out and trying to hit those kids that we're not hitting. And the counselors actually help fill out the paperwork and they help make sure that these kids that really need the activities need the day camp stuff are taken care of.
I really enjoy that. I like that partnership, but.
Yeah, it's a great partnership.
Yeah, getting getting that done. So, I get,
So we're not gonna worry about that now.
yeah, I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry about that.
Anything on that?
Thank you for sharing all the information and we will get.
Back to do it again next month.
Yes. Sorry.
Jan can do it next month.
Penny's got it. All right, well, thank you for doing that and getting us preemptively ready.
Yeah, there you go.
For next month, we appreciate it. No.
It's me again.
You're a specialized recreation agreement by Sue Fay Lash, our recreation manager.
And you should have that in your packet, I'm hoping. I did put them in there.
Yes.
So just kind of give a little bit of background, we included the staff report that really isn't necessarily for you guys, it's just kind of so that you will have some background knowledge on this particular program. Thurston County we have been in an interlocal agreement with them since the early 1990s. We used to be called a Sunshine Program and now it's just turned into specialized rec. Thurston County provides the countywide specialized recreation program for persons with developmental and physical disabilities with contributions of funds from both Lacey, Olympia, and Tumwater. Each city, Olympia and Tumwater will have their respective individual interlocal agreement with Thurston County. As per the agreement, the city of Lacey, we contribute $8,377 towards specialized recreation programs every year. This is the same amount we've had since 2016. They did not ask for an increase this year. Last increase was 2016. And the agreement will be for 3 years from 2025 to 2027. As part of that, if you're reading through, they are supposed to be doing X amount of hours, I think it's 200 and some hours of recreation for that population for the funding that we're giving to them. It's been another really good relationship. And we just are wanting to renew this interlocal.
You want one?
So we were asking for approval to move forward with this interlocal agreement.
I think we have all the information for this one.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
All right. Oh, and that's all. All right, all those in favor, or I'm sorry, I need a motion to approve we need a motion to approve the agreement with the Thurston County for Specialized Recreation Services. A motion?
I will motion.
I have a sec. We got a motion from Commissioner Frosbury. Commissioner Wheeler, would you like a second?
You know what? I will. I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye to the agreement with the Thurston County for Specialized Recreation Services.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the agreement for Thurston County Specialized Recreation Services. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
A couple more and I'll do one more thing.
All right, moving.
Talk a lot today.
We like it when you talk. We have our reports now and it looks like we have our commissioners first. Are any commissioners wanting to speak? Or, yes, Commissioner Good.
Like I was talking to her earlier, I've spoke about this previous years. I am very concerned about the intersection by Nisqually Middle School going over to the RAC. I live out that direction and I was just yesterday sitting at the light and watched children weave through traffic to get across the street to the RAC. And I know that the area is state and everything like that, but they're going to the RAC. So I don't know if we can re-engage a conversation about a bridge or something, even if it is, she had noted the property adjacent to Nisqually is park property and putting a bridge from there over to the RAC side. If that's something that we can discuss or, you know, something with the school because there's no anybody or the city of Lacey. And, you know, it's dangerous for traffic and it's dangerous for these children. And I don't know how many times my heart jumps out of my chest going through that intersection. And I'm just gonna say it again, we really need to figure out something. It's gonna happen in a matter of time. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
And
that
I-
whole 7 mile stretch is under review right now by Thurston County Regional Council, so I would.
Yeah, I'm off of Union Mills and they just ripped out the all of that over there, and I'm still trying to figure out what's going on,
And
honestly.
Chelsea Emberly is doing a survey right now, so you could give her input, like directing it, like she will have you circle, like right here is exactly where I need assistance. Cause that whole Martin Way corridor for 7 mile stretches on.
If the light, you know, depending on what light, they run this way and they run this way. And, you know, some are taking the actual sidewalks. I don't know if we need to re-educate, like, but it's, you know, but they are going to our parks every day. And when my teenagers were still in middle school, but I have a middle school, or a child going to that middle school next year, and I have concerns. So I just wanna but they're always going to Nisqually middle, the rec, sorry, not Nisqually.
Yeah, it looks like to me when I drive that area that the parents want to pick up over at the rack. They don't want to go through the turnaround at Squally, so it's kind of the school district's issue as well.
Yeah.
They should not be sending the people over there, putting the liability on us potentially.
I mean, it's already problematic because it's dangerous, because when people are going to Nisqually, you see I've had to do it. I've parked on that road, on Stellacom Road, waiting for my children to get out of school because of how bad the setup is. And, you know, but I'm thinking of the foot traffic to the rack, so that's the only reason I wanted to make sure to see, you know, if we can get that conversation going.
But Thurston County is that's all theirs. Thurston
Yeah,
County,
because I couldn't remember if it was state or if it was county or.
Yeah, it's Thurston County. And they
Money
are
we need to
looking
start
at.
knocking on, so.
But it's a 7 mile stretch all the way from Animal Services past where you're talking about into that area where all of that is getting roundabouts. Are looking at putting safety pedestrian crossings in there. Because it's all those suicide lanes are through the middle there. We've had people laying out there. I walk it every Tuesday and Thursday, and we have people laying in the center of that street in a suicide lane who cannot get in or
Are
out.
they looking up closer to the school like the Stillicum to, or is it just Martin Way?
No, it's going out past that. It's where the crane is at, that where the Martin Way, I don't know exactly.
No, I'm talking about by Nisqually.
Middle school, she's talking by
It's called middle school.
Stillicum and.
Yeah, there's
Marvin.
so on their map, they have like all the roads where you're asking for access points or mitigation for trafficking of cars and turnarounds. And I would just reach out to Thurston County directly because that's their space. I mean, they're managing and monitoring it, and let them know this right here is exactly where we need targeted, whether you need a roundabout or whether you're gonna need a, cut
You need
through
a
or
bridge.
crosswalk, a bridge. Well, we said the
Was it
same.
Marvin Road that
Yeah,
kids
Yeah.
are crossing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Nisqually Middle School, like right
Okay.
across from Farm.
yeah, right off that Martin Way is where you're talking, and that's all under assessment right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know, it's.
It's about to get fun.
They always stand in the middle of my street too, so.
Yeah, but Thurston County is who's really kind of focusing in on
But-
mitigating.
That was just really alarming, and I feel like if I don't say anything, it's just getting to me,
Yeah,
so.
it's treated as a freeway. Any other comments from commissioners? Question? Nothing else, we'll move to chair. Just want to say thank you to everyone who is on the PIFU from the staff and from our community members who have been engaging in the process. It's a lot of meetings and it's a lot of budgetary information, and thank you for your support for doing that work. I know it's a lot, but it's getting there and people are working together, so it's refreshing to have a lot of diverse commentary and from different perspectives on what to best put our money and resources into. So I've been thankful for that. Also, we've got our Give Local going on. So if you've got some foundations, organizations, and you don't want to do Christmas shopping, you can always donate. So make sure you're looking at all your Give Locals, people, resources that need help in our community and support and sponsorships. We're going to need it. And that's all I have, I think, till tomorrow. All right, anything for recreations manager? Susie Goulash.
We've kind of moved to a new strategy or a new program. So for the program updates, we're doing them quarterly. So the summer quarter program updates are in your packet. If you'd like, I could read all of it, or I could just go through some highlights for you, whatever you would prefer. Highlights,
I love
perfect for me.
highlights to the low level.
Some of the highlights for the aquatics, they had 943 swim lessons completed this summer. He also hired 3 new staff and retained all of the full aquatic staff that he had for the summer, moving into the fall programming period, which makes life a little bit easier. We're still very short staffed, we're still very short on things, but every little bit is a bonus, and we'll take all of that we can. He was able to increase Aqua Fitness to a couple of more offerings. We are having some struggles because River Ridge is going to be closed down again. They're still doing construction. It'll be closed winter and it'll be closed in spring break, but we're working around that. And Scott offered 18 family open swim sessions this summer, which removed a wait list for all family open swim classes.
Yay.
Um,
Tell them
that-
thank you.
I will.
Congratulations.
Special events, a couple of things to highlight. Lacey Fireworks Spectacular had a record attendance. With the geofencing we were able to get from from Experience Olympia and beyond, they counted about over 25,000 cell phones, plus those without cell phones could have been over $30,000 or $30,000 people at Rainier Vista Community Park. Lacey and Tune celebrated its 30th year for pre-summer entertainment. And we also tested out a new Wednesday evening concert and had a great response. We offered Play in the Park is now in the 4th year. The series brings entertainments to various Lacey parks. So instead of everything being at Hunter, we're trying to spread them out to all of our community parks, and that has been extremely successful. The other highlight for special events is we did hire a coordinator to replace Christianka. Her name is Erica, and she will be starting on the 18th of November. She'll be working for a week, and then she had a pre-planned holiday vacation, and then as soon as after the Thanksgiving holiday, she will be on full time. She has a lot of experience. She is a past retired military. She was a military wife and followed her husband around. She has a recreation degree. She, through different things, has been working in recreation field, trying to keep her hand in the field. She is currently, or was currently, up at the Space Needle and working with Chihuly as for rentals and events there. They love this. Her husband just retired from the military and they love the area, so they have relocated in DuPont. They've got a child in high school and they really love this area and they want to stay here. So we're really excited to have her. I think she's gonna be a great addition to our department. Community recreation, our summer day camp and playground pals were busy. We were full almost every week. We had a variety of different groups coming in. We had the Lacey Police and Fire Departments. We had South Sound Reading, Timberland Library made multiple appearances over the course of the summer. We also had a group of Japanese exchange students come and spend time with us on 2 different occasions. Over the 8 weeks, we had more than 700 campers. So that was showing that there's obviously a need. And I'm not gonna really talk about the outdoor trips and the trolls because we just heard Cody talk about it. The community center, Jacob Smith House, rentals are back and beyond the 2019, right before the pandemic. For just the summer months, there were 60 private banquets, 76 individual meetings. And we are also hosting recreation programs in the community center for the days that we are not busy. And we did that for 52 of 91 days from June to August. Picnic shelters were the busiest they've been in a long time. Between the depot, Rainier Vista Rack, and Woodland Creek, we collected over $45,000 in rental fees. And so that's pretty much each weekend, each place for every Saturday and Sunday from June to August. And then the rack is the rack. It's always busy. From June to August, we had 13 tournaments. We had 391 total teams of those. Some of the tournaments that we had, the USSA State Softball Tournament, C Fast Pitch, we had the 10U State USA Tournament. We had the Cal Ripken State Baseball Tournament. Janet Crater hosted the USSSA Cascade National Girls Fast Pitch Tournament, which had, I think, 60+ teams in it. And we also had the Perfect Game Pacific Northwest All-State Games, which are 18 to 19-year-old individuals playing from all over Washington on different teams. Soccer field, we had 505 total bookings. We had also in the parks, we had the Juneteenth, we had the Polynesian Fest, Lake Fair's volleyball tournament, senior games. We had a host of multiple Skyhawks camps. as well as the Olympia Artesian Youth Soccer Camps. Youth sports, we were very successful with the T-ball this year. We had an increase of 9% for a total of 289 players. And pickleball saw a 25% increase with team registration with a total of 45 teams this year. They ran a total of 57 different classes and camps this summer with a total attendance of 328. Between the leagues and the programs for the youth and adult sports, we registered 714 people. So obviously people are excited about getting out and about. The front desk customer service, all across types between registration refunds, user credits, financial assistance, front desk processed 1,048 transactions, totaling over 200,000 during the quarter. In addition to assisting residents over the phone, City Hall with numerous questions, obviously, recreation offerings focused on improving cross-training, some special projects, our services to the department or constituents. They were very helpful in taking on some of the things such as working with the web when we lost Christianka. They took on to the web page, working on that, kind of worked with trying to reconfigure some of the office space to meet more folks. Registration, where we oversaw the registration for fall, which had 106 unique offerings. Triage, they're basically instrumental and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. And there's your program updates. You guys have any questions?
Do you feel like you're getting enough support? You have enough of who you need? Is the
Well, we will
getting
once we
better?
finally get fully staffed. It's like we get fully staffed and then we're not.
I know. How,
We are, then we're not. So it's
how,
like,
yeah, how far are we down? Like how many positions do?
once we get Erica on, right now we'll be staffed. So excited to have her come and excited to see what they have to offer. And so, yeah, it was a great summer.
Okay,
Everything went really well. So
I'm excited. I've enjoyed all the programs.
I know I watched you dance at it.
Thanks. Sue.
We're gonna get dance lessons.
Okay, and that's enough for me.
I think you're on tape.
I might have missed it, sorry. Did you cover the playbook?
Oh, I did not cover the playbook.
Sorry.
You're absolutely correct. We are moving, good point, very good. We are moving from doing the, already the walking, that's why I lost. So we're going, instead of actually putting together a playbook, we are going to, starting in winter quarter of 2025, we will be doing registration, everything will just be online. We're not going to publish a book. We are going to have stuff on the website. We're going to be putting stuff out through the newsletter and the Facebook, directing people to our Civic Rec page. Carter and his group have done a great job. They're trying to recreate some of the part on Civic Rec to make it look a little bit more not so generic, make it kind of pop in a few places with pictures and a different page, front page on it, I guess, or opening page. So we're hoping to see how this goes and save some money and not have a little bit more flexibility where if somebody has something or opportunity that comes up, we'll be able to add things where we would have been restricted more with an actual copied print.
And then how will we get it to potential people who don't have access to information online?
That is something we're working on.
So we stopped printing the playbook several years ago.
So it's been
So
online.
that specific issue will be addressed the same way that it has been,
Okay.
just to the best of our abilities, right? We have walk-in during business hours, Monday through Friday. But
This is where you can come to get information. They'll come here if they can't get something online.
yeah, so just like currently, because we only do it online now, if someone does want to register for something or just wants to know what we have to offer, they would come to the counter. And it happens a couple times a week at least, where we sit down and go through, every offering we have with them, and it's a nice little experience. A good pop quiz for my staff too, so.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not leaving anyone behind who potentially doesn't have access to computer. Commissioner Dykstra?
Oh, yeah, I was curious along the same lines. Is there an option for folks to like call your office and ask for one mailed to them. Just,
At this point, we're not gonna have anything to mail. We're not printing anything, when we have not printed anything for some time. They have been able to run a copy of it off and have given that to folks. To be perfectly honest, I don't know how or if we would be able to do that with this new process.
yeah.
Maybe genuinely one person a year that asks for it to be printed off.
Mm-hmm.
Just for reference, one of the decisions to move away from this was we looked at the clicks on the website. Again, that's the only place you can access the playbook is on the website. And the clicks to get to the playbook each quarter were so low, and it is costing us so much in staff time and we contract out a designer for it, that it seems like a pretty obvious decision to give it a shot without it. I will also say, as many of you probably know, there is a publicly accessible computer right outside of the Berks counter. So there have also been times where people have asked for us to pull it up on there. And so that makes it a little easier as well. If someone doesn't want to sit and go through the whole thing themselves, we have the computer at City Hall they can use. But again, I don't want to negate your concerns. I definitely value also making it accessible.
Sure.
The specific shift isn't really changing that accessibility piece
Right.
though.
I just want to make sure that that's been, I mean, that we've looked at that, through the right lens, that we're not, leaving anyone behind or making them feel excluded because they don't have access or they have a disability and not able to participate in signing up for something if they really want to do something. So it's just kind of keeping that in mind. And I don't know if we've sent a survey out, like how do you use the playbook or how do you find information for the playbook?
Yeah, the only data we've looked at is the traffic data from the website.
Okay. Yeah, because I know this, are we hitting the schools too with the playbook? Like, do the schools have access to?
We haven't had the playbook in the schools since before COVID.
Oh,
So that's, it's been almost 5 years. And we have not seen a decrease in our registrations or access. We can put, and we do put stuff in the Peach Jar on occasion.
okay.
And we are continuing to put out our newsletter that highlights different programs and that goes out to everybody that has been on our mailing list for information and has been, I believe it's registered in Civic Rec. So
Okay.
we are
Do
getting
we
out.
offer like anything at the public libraries, or I'm just thinking about like we may not know if we're only looking at the traffic on the website, that's only going to show us the information of people who have access to a website. We may be unintentionally not reaching people if there are no physical like copies or no way to like get information aside from the website.
So this specific shift that Sue mentioned, and sorry,
Yeah.
Neda, feel free to interrupt me, is not going to change anyone's access. So the concerns that you have would admittedly, to be transparent, Commissioner, still exist if we kept the playbook.
Yes, yeah. So I'm
I just wanna
asking a better
acknowledge that.
question, probably.
No, I think you have a very valid point, and that's something that we're continuing to look into, and how can we reach out and hit some of those folks that whether or not we have a playbook printed or playbook online, the odds are we're probably still missing them, and that's something that we're looking at right now and we'll be looking at in the near future. How can we reach these folks and how can we make sure that everything we do is accessible to everybody out
Yeah.
there, whether it be because of a communication issue or a language barrier or a computer barrier or something. That's something that we're continuing to strive to minimize.
Wonderful.
And
Thanks
I will
for
say
sharing.
on the language front,
Yeah.
the advantage of investing more in our online catalog versus the playbook is
Mhm.
that the online catalog is built into Google Translate. Again,
Oh, good.
we'll claim that's the best translation tool out there, right? but it does exist, whereas if someone's primary language was not English and they're looking at this PDF, it's obviously a lot harder to translate all of that information, whereas reinvesting in the catalog version and making sure every single bit of information is in our catalog, which really hasn't historically been true.
Yeah.
Now, all of that information is theoretically, you click that button and translate it. And just a little prop to, I know Sue's staff, Lauren, goes out to the schools, I think several times a week at this point. I'm sure primarily for her programs, but that is a way that we're still engaging in the school district at least, but definitely acknowledge that there's always better outreach government can do to its constituents.
Awesome.
And will they be in our Lacey Life? Can they do a QR code? Well, because I know we do Lacey in the park.
Yeah, that's certainly an avenue that we can look at. You know, in the past, we've also done stuff out in utility bills and different things as well, so.
Yep, so the link in the utility bill and then any Lacey Life, our own newsletter, it would just be the link to our Civic Rec page where that catalog is, rather than to the playbook. So those
Yeah.
online avenues, we wouldn't be decreasing any. We've actually had several meetings about increasing online dissemination, but again, I know that doesn't acutely address your point about like the library involvement and things like that.
Yeah, because Panorama is not on a water bill from us, so they don't get any information of Lacey in Life, so we have to kind of, that's like we gotta do was that a workaround? Yeah, to make sure that they get included in that. And that, so I just want to make sure all community members have access at some point, whether we're mailing, you know, I know we don't have to do a whole book to them, but at least a QR code or something they can access somewhere to get where they need to go. So we're not, you know, making people not have accessibility or so.
And that's something that we're striving to do.
And we'll see that at some point, the grand finale project.
I don't know if there will ever be a grand finale. I think it's a work in progress and it's going to be continually morphing and changing as different things come up and different situations happen. We look at it and try to adjust the best and pivot the best that we can to make sure that we are hitting things. We are part of different groups. I'm part of the community partners with the school district, and that has a variety of different groups in it. And when we meet every month, I talk about our stuff, and we are doing a lot of outreach into those different areas, whether it be the military or whether it be the non-English speaking kids and groups that are in the North Thurston Public Schools. So we're trying to do our due diligence. I mean, I don't think there'll ever be an end. It'll just be a continuing process.
And that's actually one of the reasons we wanted to shift to this, because if we have a really great idea, like halfway through a quarter, the way the playbook works is, well, that's a done deal, right? It's a finalized document. We can't go back and really edit it. But as my staff is working with Sue and have a cool idea of like just a way to communicate something better or a new program to offer, we can just immediately, same day even, just go update that on this online catalog and then, of course, disseminate it out still. But decide something needs to be worded a little different, you just update that one version. And it does get to be this continual lifelong investment and work in progress. So, yeah. To
And the
your
nice
point, there's
thing
not
about it
some
is if-
grand unveiling.
If there's something that we go through this process and 2 or 3 quarters into it, decide it's just not working for us, we can pivot and do something different. So that's, you know, we're giving it a shot and we're giving it a, you know, seeing how it works. And if it doesn't, then we pivot and we try something different.
Thank you. I know it's gonna be a fun challenge. But we're here to
All right.
support you if there's anything you
We
need.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I'll put it on blast. I'll let everyone
I
know.
know you will.
I'll let everyone know. Thank you for clarifying too. I appreciate it very much.
And the last thing I'll just add quickly is that we are going to do some information about this change to the public once we get a little bit closer. I wanted to make sure we got through this registration cycle that's gonna start the 1st of December before we start talking about this, as to not confuse folks that it's not this one that's about to happen. So it'll be on social media, in our newsletter, etc., that this change is happening. I admittedly don't think it's gonna go through a lot of people's minds, to be honest, but most people are used to going to our catalog at this point, but we will be doing that education campaign.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Yeah, thanks. Is there any questions or?
No, it's just a information. I missed it on my bullet points.
Oh,
We didn't have to do the Transit walk because we already talked about it, so I just thought it was done.
Well, thank you going back and rounding about.
Oh, I thank Jenny for reminding me.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. All right, and now we're moving on to our Parks Maintenance Supervisor.
We'll be giving Jamie's report tonight. So one item they're working on is they have had some damage to the pour in place rubber surfacing at the depot playground. So they're working with the manufacturer for a warranty repair on that. Kind of disappointing that that's already happening. So they're installed park rules and parking enforcement signs at Woodland Creek Community Park. They winterized the irrigation and drinking fountains at all the parks, overseeded the soccer fields at the Rack and Rainier Vista, repaired broken basketball hoop at Lake Point Park, fixed a split rail fence at South Lake Trail, closed the non-ADA restrooms, aerated parks and turf areas. They did some cherry bark Tortrix treatments, removed summer annuals, and replaced broken backstop boards at the Rack. I'm up again. Do you want to? It's always so awkward when you just keep going because
Yeah, no.
the next.
Is there, are there any
would be-
questions about that? Okay, well, because if you said, is there any questions and no one gave you any
I know.
questions, I was like, okay, I'll go to the next one.
Yeah. Any questions, I'll ask Jamie and get back to you.
Okay. Senior Parks Planner.
So for construction and project updates, the Rack kiosk historic panels have been reviewed by all the parties and are now in the process of getting printed. So we're in the early phases of discussing ribbon cutting ceremony. So that may be, we might wait until the weather gets nicer. So we're kind of looking to the Thurston County to make a determination on the timeline for that. The city's in the beginning phases of updating its comprehensive plan, which is its long-term vision for the next 20 years. And I believe I emailed it all out to you, so please take that survey and some feedback on that. And pass it along to anyone you may know. So I think I heard today that they've had maybe 150%. So it's kind of a long survey. So, our parks plan, we get a ton of responses, but comp plans are a little bit more complicated and take a little bit more effort. So if you can send it out to people, that'd be great.
How many responses do we have so far?
Oh, I think I heard today that maybe they're in maybe 150 or something. So that hasn't been out that long. So.
When does it close?
Ooh, I'm not sure. It's a good question. I'm not entirely sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can get that information though. And then for grants, they have received some preliminary, we received our rankings for the RCO. I can't remember if I reported this time, last time. We ranked 16th for Rainier Vista Pickleball Court Project and 26th for the Bush Park Project. So the RCO board met on October 29th and approved the ranked list. So the next step is to wait until the state capital budget is approved, which will determine how far down the list the money will go and determine if our projects ultimately get funded. So I think the recommendation is to fund at 150 million. And if that is how far, and if that is what gets funded, both of our projects will get funded. So fingers crossed.
That's next spring, right? When they.
I think in spring, and I think it gets finalized in July. That's when we'll know for sure. Parks Improvement Funding Work Group. I think since we last met, we had a combined tour, which I think Lori went on, Wendy went on. Yep.
Went on.
Yep.
Commissioner Wheeler was there.
Yep, Aaron went on that too. Went to several sites. I think it was really informative and I think everybody learned a lot about the maintenance challenges that we have firsthand. I think that was great. And then we also had a couple other meetings. We did an in-depth review of all the projects on the parks comprehensive, the PCIP, and that's the list that we're asking the group to prioritize. They've had really great questions and seem really engaged in the process. We had a meeting on October 28th where they broke into small groups and did like a preliminary prioritization. So it was just interesting to see how everybody worked as a group to collaborate and prioritize. And the meeting on Monday was to delve a little bit deeper into funding options and narrow down to some of the ones that they wanted to focus on. And although nothing is final, I think Metro Parks District is initially seeming to be the top viable, stable, and long-term funding option for parks. So there's a lot more that needs to go, a lot more work that needs to go into it. And of course, there's still recommending that we continue to pursue grants and sponsorships. And so maybe in the next couple meetings, we're hoping to have a final decision and some recommendations to city council.
And the recommendations go to city council in December?
That's, I think we're hoping December 2nd would be our last meeting with this group, and then in December, recommendation to city council, but
But it doesn't have to be tied to the budget schedule.
no. Also upcoming Parks Board business. So we have been told that we have a joint meeting with City Council, Parks Board, and Historic Commission, and this happens every year. So the date that we've been given for 2025 is January 28th. So if everybody could put that on your calendar to attend either in person or virtually, would be great. We spend about 30 minutes and present our work plan and our accomplishments. So we'll be working on that and bringing that to you for our next meeting.
And that's like at 5:30 or 6
Ooh, can't remember. I think,
at night.
I feel like it's 5:30, but I'll check on the time.
I'll hold it 5:30 on my calendar just in case. I'll put it as my number one.
It's 6.
Thank you.
It's at 6?
City council meetings are next. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a Tuesday, right?
Yes, yep, council meetings are on Tuesdays. And then just some other items. We've been working on a request from the regarding Homan Park. Jack Homan is the son of the family who donated the park in 1973. He's expressed some concerns about the condition of the park and has requested some improvements, history of the park. So Jamie and I met with a friend and representative of Mr. Holman to discuss his concerns. It's positive. We're working with him on a solution. So yeah, so that's something that may come around to this group. And then, of course, park commissioners are invited to attend the Lacey Holiday Lights on Monday, December 2nd, 5:30 to 7:30 at Huntermer Park. So this year is a little bit different. It's not a parade, but instead a reverse parade of sorts. I'm not sure if you've heard about this, but vehicles are decorated and are gonna be decorated and parked around the park. There's gonna be food vendors, activity booths, and of course Santa. And then at 6:30, they'll have a ceremony where they flip the candy cane switch to light up the park. So park board commissioners are invited to attend, and if you're planning on attending, please let me know and they'll recognize you from stage. And they also need some judges for the lighted vehicles. So if you'd like to build your hours of being a parks board member, now is your time. So just let us know.
have a booth.
You get more than everything.
Right,
Just
right.
come say hi to me.
Right, so they need judges there from 4:30 to 6:30. If you'd like to do that, let me know. I can connect you with Jeanette. She needs some judges for that. Are you interested in doing that?
No, I just had a question.
Sure.
So if it's like a reverse parade,
Mhm.
does that mean they're not gonna come through the neighborhoods?
Right, and they have never gone through the neighborhoods. It started, it was kind of in the Fred Meyer complex and it just went to Huntermer Park. But this year the vehicles are gonna be parked around Huntermer Park and people are gonna walk through that area around the cars instead. So it's a little bit different, but you might be thinking about the Santa Mobile, I think, which that does go through the neighborhoods.
That's the fire.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen like the same kind of decoration. That's why I was thinking it's the same cars.
It's like multiple businesses on there.
Olympia also has one.
Yes, Olympia does have a lighted parade also. Could be them.
So 4:30, the December 2nd,
Yep.
30 to 6. I can do the judging.
Have to dress up.
Huh?
You don't have to, you don't have to judge, you don't have to dress up, don't, let's see.
For real?
You gotta be an elf.
Already.
Yeah.
I get to be an elf. December
And
2nd.
that's it for my report, but I do have Jen's report also.
Got more?
Nope.
Are there any questions
Yep.
for our senior parks planner? Okay, moving on to our director.
Okay, so excited to report that Wendy was reappointed to another term for Parks Board last night at the council meeting.
Thanks, Commissioner Wheeler.
It'd have been funny appointing you chair next year.
I know. Thank goodness you were reappointed. So
Should I
thank
have
you
mentioned
again
that?
for all your work and your support for our department and parks. It's very appreciated. The Lacey Museum received an $11,000 bequest, oh my gosh, with 1/5 of the sale of a house that will be forthcoming once the current tenant no longer lives there. We're reporting this to the Parks Board per the enhancement policy, so just a community member who left that to us, so that's exciting.
Thank you, community member. That's nice.
So there's also some news on the Lacey Museum front. So there's always been a big challenge with the Lacey Museum regarding space for exhibits, collections, programs, events, which is all part of the reason why we need a new museum and cultural center. So the city signed a lease for office space on 6th Avenue in the Bell Center building. The Lacey Museum will be closing November 8th, and they're gonna be moving to that new location. And this will allow for more exhibit space, room for programs, and host field trips and school groups. The Russell House, which is the current Lacey Museum facility, will host all of the collections and research center. So members of the public will be able to come and easily access genealogical collections and other research information. So volunteers and retail sales can happen at both locations. So there's gonna be, I think some information already went out on Facebook about this, but
Yeah, they
So-
did a press release too.
so it's been kind of a big change in our operations, but exciting information for us, so. And then I was gonna share information about our new coordinator starting, but Sue has already done that, so. She's
You
starting
got to the end.
November 18th, and that's all that we had to share.
That's nice. Everybody's kind of overlapping, making sure we get it all done. Are there any questions, concerns for the director this evening? All right. Hearing nothing, let's adjourn our meeting at 6:47 PM. Thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate all you do. Stay alert, stay alive out there in the dark. Wake up it's dark, and go to bed it's dark. Bye. Bye.